Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This time it's posted by killerKoala on the subreddit Cast It. killerKoala's posted a lot of really good games, most notably the packet that he put up under Angry Kittens, just known for some fun plays and a pretty high level play considering that he's in mid diamond. killerKoala is playing bottom left corner as Terran, top right corner. His opponent is Justyn in the red Protoss trunks. I know killerKoala is mid diamond. I'm assuming Justyn is also mid diamond, or maybe this is a placement match for him and he's really good. I don't know. I do know that red versus blue means that this is probably on the ladder. Also, Daybreak is in the ladder pool, so you know there's no surprise there. Medium choke leading down to the naturals, just some basic features of the map. The most interesting thing about Daybreak is this super large choke right here. It's not even a choke, it's just a pathway leading down to moderately sized common ground. The real choke is actually over here by the destructible debris. So I never see a wall off go down here unless it's behind the destructible debris and incorporating it. And even then that's kind of risky because these debris go down and then that pathway opens up. And then you also have a secondary pathway over here. This walkway that leads down to the third is also very exposed, and you can't expect the player to go down here and set up a wall off. So any wall off you do that incorporates the debris, you're going to have a back door to, and you know that can be taken advantage of. So it's very difficult to completely wall off that natural, which means that it's pretty common to see one base play or early one base play leading into an expansion later on. No early gas coming out of Justyn, no early tech coming out of Justyn. We do see a probe heading out to either scout, or it looks like, since he saved up enough money, to throw down that nexus. And like I said, this is a ballsy move because it's difficult for Justyn to wall off this area. I know it's against Terran, so he's not really expecting a bunch of run-bys, but that Hellion Harass can still be very effective. On the killerKoala side of things, we do see the first barracks is down. Wall-off is not completed here, but with the command center already down, it looks like Koala's intending to take his natural very early and secure this lower ground. Refinery down, assimilator down. Both players are beginning to grab that gas, beginning to tech up. It looks like both players are settling into a more macro-oriented game, not going to rely too much on harassment. It's difficult to cheese in this game unless you're going to proxy, simply because the rush distance is so small. Orbital command going for the first CC, and secondary refineries coming down for killerKoala. We see that Justyn is opting just to get the first one, get a couple of extra minerals. You see he's got around 500 minerals saved up right now. Cybernetics core goes down, but he's probably saving that up so he can chrono out some extra drones from his Nexus. Excuse me. He's probably not going to chrono. He's probably going to spend all that chrono on warp gate tech, as he is throwing down two additional gateways and a secondary assimilator. So he successfully spent all that money that I thought he was saving up. He was just waiting for the appropriate time to spend it. Bunker going down on the low ground. It's going to help killerKoala secure that area. This is a pretty good placement for the bunker just because it covers both angles of attack without sacrificing any time that you'd spend there, and it also covers the ramp so that if you can throw a structure right here, you can force the player to run around, take a more backwards route into the main base. See a factory coming down and two bunkers, or barracks. I don't see the initial barracks that was already built throwing down a tech lab or reactor. So Hellion Harass, even though it would be very effective with that back door, it looks like it is not the route that killerKoala is going to take. It'll be interesting to see if a starport goes down right next to it. Bam. Starport's going down, so whatever the factory decides to throw on, and it's a reactor, that reactor is not going to be used by the factory. It's going to be used by the starport. It's going to be used to create a bunch of medevacs to support the ground-based army that killerKoala is going to get up, probably. Could be for Vikings, you know, scouting Viking. killerKoala has surprised me several times. I'm not gonna take bets on this. You have a warp gate getting chronoed out, like I mentioned earlier. That's all that energy is going to be used for now, is get that warp gate out quickly. You can see that both players are, you know, staying well away from being supply blocked. Definitely beginning to saturate both expansions with probes. In fact, the harvester count is much more in Justyn's favor, but you can see the mineral income is pretty much neck and neck, as is the gas. And that's just the mules working their magic there, freeing up supply. So even though it's 38 to 50, Justyn really isn't that far ahead in terms of pure army. We can see 5 stalkers to 1 zealot with those 7 marines and a bunker. It's these 2 tech levs is really going to make the difference. Once some marauders start being punched out, once some upgrades like the stem gets finished, once that level 1 attack from the engineering bay gets done, then this army is going to be significantly more intimidating. It appears that Justyn is going to go for a 7 gate, which is a great, very powerful play. It would have been interesting to see if he could have timed the construction of those warp gates a little bit better with the finishing of the warp tech from the cybernetics core. Also, you've got all these guys just hanging around, throwing down these pylons. Maybe these pylons could have been created at a more field place, maybe up in this third. I've seen pylons placed right here to great effect, warping in units on the high ground. Also over here behind the mineral line, where it's difficult to scout with just a passing probe. We do see a pylon is going to be created right now by this probe, but again, the army's not moving out. Oh, there it is. Army's preparing to move out. It looks like Justyn has got his tech where he wants it to be. This 7 gate is definitely intimidating. There's going to be a lot of forces coming in, and we only have 1 marauder on the field and 1 more being created from these bunkers or barracks. 2 more barracks going down and a starport which is successfully created. 3 medevacs, so there's plenty of support there, but there's just not a lot of firepower. The level 1 infantry and combat shields are both going to finish, as is the tech. So if Justyn had moved out just a little bit while ago, right whenever those that 7 gate had finished and attacked, then none of this tech would be done, and Justyn would be in a better shape than he is right now. As things are, this is an incredibly intimidating force, and looking at what killerKoala has, there's not a lot there at all. And that single bunker is not going to be enough to stop this. This is huge. It will be interesting to see how much damage is taken if this orbital lifts off. There's still plenty of minerals down here. The supplemental mules can definitely pay for themselves. These SCVs need to make it out of alive. That orbital command can lift off and land somewhere else, but right now Justyn moves in with a very stalker heavy force. Lots of force fields going down to prevent proper concave from these Terran units as they get absolutely cut down. I see 13 stalkers to 4 marauders and 5 marines, and that count falls almost instantly to 0. We've only got 2 marauders and 2 marines left right now. The production tab shows 2 marauders on the way, but with the sentry throwing down force fields, they're going to be delayed in their reinforcement. killerKoala unfortunately has to pull his SCVs off the line, and every single one gets cut down, and this orbital command, which was a little late in getting lifted off, goes down to the concentrated fire from the stalkers. You can see reinforcements are continued to be warped in by Justyn, including several more sentries. The stalkers only barely make it up the hill just to get vision on that high ground, and unfortunately they meet some heavy resistance from these marauders, and each marauder seems to have a medevac healing itself. Pardon me, drop my mic. Each marauder's got its medevac healing itself, so they're doing quite a lot of damage, and only a couple of sentries can fire at one time. The wall goes up, preventing them from actually getting in, but an excellent place force field prevents the SCVs, all but one, repairing the supply depot. More and more marauders join the fray. Stalker count is down to 6. Remember, it was almost 17 a little while ago. So these marauders just going to work. You can see the units lost tab. It's 67 to 50. That's quite a lot in killerKoala's favor. So even though he lost that expansion, even though he is significantly behind on income and harvesters, he's in just an absolutely terrible place. Those marauders definitely did a wonderful job at holding off the aggression. Oh, plenty more stalkers coming in, dealing some significant damage to the medevacs, pushing them back. Another round of units pop out. 2 marauders going to take the stalkers to task. A couple more. Only 3 stalkers left, and they have to pull out. Man, that stem is just absolutely so good, and the level 1 armoring had finished off for the Marauders, and it looks like Justyn wants to let up on the pressure. It wants to let up and take a third. Not a terrible idea. He was losing quite a lot. I feel like if he had fallen back a little bit and just decided to take out the barracks rather than constantly engaging, or maybe pushed up and didn't deal with the structures at all, pushed down into that probe line, he could have picked off the last, 16 SCVs, and that would have been the end of this fight completely. As things are now, killerKoala is significantly behind. We can see two robotics facilities being built in the main base. They're very exposed, though. I mean, they're pretty much right out in the open. But I doubt Justyn's expecting killerKoala to push out with the force that he has right now, especially considering how far behind he is. killerKoala looks like he's going to be doing an all-in, though, with the just sheer amounts of units that he can create right now is significantly behind Justyn. You can see that the supply count is slowly evening up right now. killerKoala had the infrastructure in place to create a lot of units. He just hadn't started creating units whenever that 7-gate hit, which is what made it so devastating, was that Justyn had started creating units a little bit before killerKoala, had 1 or 2 rounds in before killerKoala engaged him. All the zealots go down very, very quickly. The units stem, charge up the hill, meet those robotics facility. One goes down almost instantly. Those Marauders just destroying everything on the ground. Lots of stalkers coming in. They're going to take advantage of this high ground to shell down on the units. However, the units firing up with the medevacs there to provide range really don't suffer much of a deficit at all. And those stalkers have to pull back, wait for the warp gates to finish off. You can see there's 100 energy on this nexus. You should really use that to chrono boost these gateways into creating more units, because he's got the money. Justyn's got 600 minerals. Nexus is going down. There's so many Marauders in this army. The stalkers are shelling down from above ground, but with the medevacs supporting this ground army, it's really impressive that the ground army's living for as long as it is. Because really, the amount of reinforcements are just trickling in. Another round of 5 stalkers going in, but we've seen that each stalker really hasn't proven very cost effective against this army. I mean, look at that units lost tab. It's a whole digit ahead of killerKoala, and that is quite significant. Thank you, killerKoala, for posting this replay. That was very, very impressive. I'm not 100% sure how that happened, really, because everything tells me that a 1-base Terran that has lost this expansion should not be able to create an army as big as you did and move in on Justyn. I can just think that Justyn got a little greedy and decided to create too many probes too quickly. You can see that every single one of his nexuses, well, with the exception of this guy, was full of energy. So maybe slipping on that macro a little bit when he was doing that push, and then whenever he fell back, he got a little complacent. But really, hats off to you for holding that off and then not GGing whenever that second wave of stalkers came in and got right up on the door right here. That was intimidating, especially when a couple of them got into your base and you got saved because all of the barracks just decided to create the same unit at the same time and pop them out in the base. I believe that was the clutch play. You know what else is a clutch play is watching me cast this. I appreciate it, guys. If you have a comment, let me know in the comment section or on Reddit, or you can message me if you have a game you want me to cast. Otherwise, that's it for me. I will see you guys later. Bye.